There's a secret ingredient in our stewed chicken, it will be this. It always adds that flavor that is so unexpected. Hello guys, welcome back to Star Spice Home Cooking Edition. Today we have something amazing for you. We're about to cook Star Spice famous stewed chicken. I hope you guys are excited because I am, and I can't wait to show you this recipe. I can't wait to cook it for you. Remember, our motto is it quick, is it simple, is it healthy? Okay. So today let's get started. Since we're dealing with meats, just because I have a restaurant, you know, this is health first. We got to make sure that we're dealing with safety. Chicken is not one of the safest meats to deal with, so we always use the gloves. And we want to wash our chicken, and so today I'm going to show you how we do it. The chicken is already cut up for us. I wasn't gonna do that. It's already cut. This is about 4 pounds of chicken. I'm not gonna cook all of this in stewed chicken. What I'm gonna do is season this whole batch of chicken, which is what we do at the restaurant. We're gonna pre-season it, and then I'll split it in two, and then we're gonna make 2 dishes out of it. You can put up the rest in the freezer. Maybe you'll cook another meal tomorrow. It depends on what you got going on. So I'm just gonna wash it and then season everything together, and then I'll take what I need for our stewed chicken, and we'll put the rest up for another meal. But this is a great way to save time. This is a great way to lighten your load in the kitchen. So I'm gonna throw my vinegar, just simple white vinegar, whichever brand you have at home. Be generous with it because I don't like chicken that doesn't smell edible. Your chicken needs to smell clean. Now, I see a lot of skin in this chicken, so I'll take some of it out. You know, but when we're cooking commercially, we don't always take the skin out, but at home you can. You can take some of the fat out, some of the skin out. And I wasn't trying to switch up too much. I just want to show you how we do it at the restaurant. But if you care about your health, which is one of the whole reasons why we're doing this, you can take some of the loose skin out. I'm not gonna take everything out, but most of them that's coming out, and the fat. I'm gonna wash this one more time. While this is draining, I'm going to give this sink a generous wash and soap to get rid of all of this meat. This is very important. I'm trying to get anybody sick. Oh, I'm just gonna separate this in half. I'm gonna put this up in my refrigerator in a Ziploc bag or whatever you use to make sure your meats are safe and they don't get freezer burn. And I'll save this for the next meal. And then this whole process can be skipped. All I have to do is start cooking. So that looks like about half. I'll put this away in the refrigerator, and this is what I'm gonna have to cook for my stewed chicken. Remember, after you finish washing the chicken, be sure to clean the sink with soap. You don't want to leave those meat in there. And so now that this is nice and drained, we are now going to season our chicken. And so to season our chicken, remember I told you this is our signature seasoned blend. It's a mixture of 3 things: celery, onion, and garlic. It's always pre-prepared. You just grind it up in your food processor, your blender, whatever you got going on at home. You keep it in the fridge. It's the basis of everything that we do in the restaurant. 90% of the food has this stuff as the basis, so it's always in our refrigerator. And so I'll just take some of this and I'll put it on the chicken. Remember, I'm seasoning this whole batch, and then I'll split it in 2 and save some for later. Give it a nice generous amount, and then I'll take our seasoning salt. The seasoning salt has garlic powder, onion powder, and Maggi cubes, and some celery seed. That's what I have mixed up in here. Alright, so we're gonna give that a nice generous mix. Now, if you're gonna cook stewed chicken, you wanna do this about a good, no less than an hour in advance. But if you can do it the day or even the day before, because in the restaurant we always pre-season our chicken. That's why it soaks in, and the meat has a very, very good flavor. So if you can do this ahead of time, you're winning. Alright, this is nicely seasoned. I'm gonna start the cooking of the stewed chicken. Remember, it needs to be quick, it needs to be simple, it needs to be healthy. So we're gonna make this quick as stewed chicken can be. Alright, so we're gonna start this with our organic avocado oil. Use the oil of your choice. This is the one I love. I'm not gonna use too much. Now I would wait for that to get hot, but I'm not gonna do this because I'm putting in grated ginger. Grated ginger is one of them things that we always have grated in advance and stored in the restaurant, so we use it with a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna put it in before it starts splattering. I love the taste of ginger in food, so I like to cook it. And ginger and garlic always, this is chopped garlic. We chopped it up also. It's another thing that we chop in advance. It saves so much time, and we have it in the refrigerator. And ginger always pairs so well with garlic. So I'm gonna have those two sauteed. Now this pot is not the best stew pot, but all the pots that I have in the home is large for family, so I just want to cook a little bit so you guys can get the concept. But a stew pot will be the best for this, but also you can use whatever you have. I'm not a big believer that something has to be cooked in a specific pot. Okay, we're gonna add our signature seasoning blend as well to this, and let this saute. I'm gonna put about 2 spoons. We're gonna give this a second to just come to a nice caramelized brown. We want it to be brown but not burn, and then we'll add our meats. Okay? When you allow the seasonings to cook really well, it releases the sugar, it releases all the flavor, and that's when you get the best flavor out of the sauce. If you just throw the stuff in like that, it's not gonna taste as good. So you wanna make sure that it's nice and caramelized, not burnt, so you have to check it. Don't have the fire up too high. Let's stir our seasonings. As you can see, it's starting to get brown in the corner. Now, if you look in the pot, it'll look like I don't have a lot of oil, but I don't want this to be an oily stew. I just want enough oil just to saute this nicely, but I don't want it to be too oily, so I held back on the oil. Because the chicken still have some skin on it, and that's gonna release oil as it cooks as well. So I have some dried rosemary. You can use fresh ones too, but we always use the dry one because they're not always in season, and this works really, really well for us. It adds an amazing, if there's a secret ingredient in our stew chicken, it will be this. It always adds that flavor that is so unexpected. So we just add like a teaspoon of rosemary, dried rosemary. I've used the fresh one, it works just as well, but you know, the dry is what's always there. And then we have some pimento seeds. I'm gonna add a few. All of these is optional, but we use everything that I'm showing you, we use it all in the restaurant. And okay, this is getting nice and brown. And this is the time where I'm gonna add the chicken, because I want the chicken to also saute up in this seasoning. So we're gonna add our chicken. All of that seasoning goodness. I could have just thrown it in, but I didn't want to throw the water. I'll give this a very good stir. This is a very, very important process because, you know, some restaurants, some people, they pre-fry their chicken. I don't believe in that. To me, the chicken is too hard. This chicken is really soft, moist. It's falling apart when you eat it. And so this is the time when it gets to fry up with the seasonings. So we're gonna leave it here for a couple of minutes, and we're gonna keep stirring it until the whole thing is beautifully caramelized and sauteed. And then I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients. While that's happening though, let me show you, I have a potato. It's not exactly the smallest potato, but I'm going to cut this up because we do add potatoes to the stew chicken. This is where you'll use a potato peeler at home. But since I don't have one at hand, it's how we do it the old-fashioned way. You see that look, guys? That was me watching my daughter, who's telling me from the other side, we do have a potato peeler. She didn't give it to me. So I'm doing it the way my mom taught me how to do it. This is the Guyanese old-fashioned way. Just get a knife and you peel it. Alright, potato peel. See, you guys gotta learn how to do it without the tools. Use the knife, use what you have. Use what's in your kitchen. Now I'm gonna slice this up with some water. And we wanna slice it a little small. A little thin, because I want it to melt. It's gonna give some body to the the gravy, so I want it to melt. I'm not cutting it up too thick. It's gonna boil and come to a nice melt in the pot. Alright, this is done. Potato finished. Let me check back on the chicken. Give it a nice stir and see how far along we are. Guys, I hope I'm making the food simple for you guys. I hope I'm making it enjoyable that you want to try it at home. And I hope you can see my heart as we cook, because I really love to cook. I know it's not a passion of everybody's, but I want to just show you guys that food doesn't have to be that complicated. Do the best you can. Make it taste halfway decent and people are going to love you for it. This is frying up really good. When it starts to fry, you're going to see the chicken is not sticking to the bottom of the pot so much. And it starts to take its own shape, and that's what we're looking for. This got about another 3 or 4 minutes of frying, and then I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients. Let's check our chicken. Let's see what it's doing. Let's see how happy she is, and she's very happy. Look at that, look at that. I wish the pot was a little bigger so you could get to see all the excitement in this pot and how amazing this smells. And all of that goodness you see back there, that's flavor. That's all the seasoning we just fried up. The blends, and it's gonna add so much flavor. Alright, so at this point I'm gonna start adding my spices. Now, I have a story to tell you guys. As you can see, this is actually curry powder. And some of you might be like, why does she have curry powder to go in the stewed chicken? There's a story behind it. So one day at the restaurant, we needed stewed chicken. The restaurant is very busy. Stewed chicken was almost finished. We needed stewed chicken, so I'm rushing and I'm cooking the stewed chicken. And somehow, because I have a million pots on the stove, I forgot I was cooking stewed chicken and I added curry to the chicken. And when I realized what I did, it was too late to take the powder out because I already stirred it in, and I was like, oh. I couldn't turn it into curry chicken because we needed stewed chicken, so I decided to add my browning sauce to the curry chicken, to the curry. It wasn't, thankfully I didn't put all the powder that I needed to put in, so it wasn't that much in it. And so I continue to add my little ketchup, my browning sauce. Tasted it. I'm telling you guys, I've never had curry stewed chicken that good. We call it the curry, it's a running joke we have in our kitchen. It's a sour spice chicken, it's a curry stewed chicken. I forgot, it's a mistake that I made and I've been adding it ever since. So do it if you want to, but I'm telling you it's good. So with that being said, we're gonna add our little curry. Weird stewed chicken, but it works. We're gonna add a little ketchup for flavor and color. This is some celery seed. I love celery seed. This is optional, you don't have to put it. This is our seasoning salt. And this is a little bit of browning. I think I cut too much potato, so I'm not gonna put all of that in. And then we have some carrots over here. This is pre-cut. I'm gonna add a few sprigs of carrots. This looks pretty when it's finished. And then I'm gonna add some chopped scallions. And then I'll just put a little bit of water to help this along. Not a lot of water, very little bit. We're gonna give the chicken a chance to release its own water, its own juices. Let's check our stewed chicken. And I just realized, ooh, that looks so good. Look at this, look at this, look at this. But I forgot to add one very good ingredient. I put a lot of ketchup in there, and ketchup sometimes can be very tangy. So I always put a little bit of sugar to balance. Like a little tinge of sweetness in my stew chicken. And this is how we do it at the restaurant. So this is brown sugar. So I want to make sure you balance the flavor. And my gravy is coming up nice and creamy, just like I like it. And that potato is gonna melt and give you a nice thick gravy. Guys, so we're gonna let this cook for about another 10 minutes and then it'll be finished. We wanna make sure the chicken is nicely cooked. It needs to be so tender when you touch it with the spoon it should break. And the sauce will be nice and thick and creamy to eat with the rice. Okay guys, let's check on our stewed chicken. Oh, that stewed chicken looked amazing. This is exactly what we're looking for. It's almost finished. Well, it's finished. I'm just gonna add a few sprigs of celery leaves. This is from my garden. This is just an extra touch. We don't do this at the restaurant, but just like to add fresh herbs at the end. It makes a difference. It adds a nice flavor. And this is ready. Look at this. I'm gonna plate it for you. It's very lush. Okay. Alright guys, our stewed chicken is ready. I'm just gonna plate it up in our lovely serving plate so that you can see what it looks like. It's nice and lush. This is amazing brown stewed chicken, and I hope you cook it up for your family. This is nice and cooked. The chicken is falling apart. As soon as you touch it, it breaks apart. And I'm gonna plate it up for you guys and show you how I serve it at home. At the restaurant you know how it's served, but I want to show you how we serve it at home. Guys, we have some amazing white rice and some steamed vegetable, and let's get a little bit right here. Look at that gravy, how lush it is. And this is our amazing stewed chicken with white rice and steamed broccoli medley. And I'm gonna be honest what it tastes like. You can taste the creaminess in the gravy. The chicken is so moist. You break it apart with the fork. It's so good. It's so good. The seasonings are amazing. The parsley is so fresh. You gotta try this. It's good. Amazing.